Hello everybody, this is Daniel Bavis. Welcome back to Daily Soap Dish. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below. We cover a ton of 90 Day Fiancé here on the channel. Alright, so let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking more about the whole Paul Stale and Karine Martine Stale situation. I did a video on it yesterday and I actually wanted to talk about something else today, but more information has come out since I did my video yesterday. So Paul and Karine, they are keeping me busy constantly with new information. So I do have to talk about this because it is very, very big and very, very serious information. So let's get straight into it. So basically, what this new information is the information that is contained in Paul Stale's restraining order. So yesterday, or perhaps a day and a half ago, US Weekly released an article and it kind of described what the contents of Paul Stale's restraining order are. Basically, he accuses Karine Martine Stale of trying to murder him. So if you thought that this whole situation couldn't get any crazier, so you have Karine on one side accusing Paul of rape and all kinds of serious and heinous domestic abuse acts, and now you have Paul that is accusing Karine of trying to take his life. This is absolutely insane, guys. Let's get into it. So like I said, just a day or a day and a half ago, US Weekly released this article, and basically Paul said that Karine attempted to put glass in his food. So he said, "I previously found glass in my food," he alleged in court documents that were obtained by US Weekly and submitted on July 30th. Now, I will get to why that date is important in a second. And then he goes on to say, "I found similar glass shards from an item she broke." Now, he also goes on to say that days later, he alleged that Martine's friends have been calling me, threatening to come to my home and kill me. They requested I pay them $10,000 or I would never see my son Pierre again. So these are the shocking claims. He also goes on to make some other claims. He claims that Karine allowed her 16-month-old son Pierre to run in the streets and get into chemical cabinets. So basically, he's accusing Karine of not being a good parent, of not being a good mother, of not caring enough about Pierre's safety in the house or outside the house. So he is accusing her of being irresponsible to the point of being reckless. Martine's assaulted me while a security camera was filming and he could use the footage to prove his innocence. Then he goes on to say that I fear for my wife's safety and mental well-being, and I also fear for my son's safety. So as a result of all this information, a judge ordered Martines to cease communication with Stale and stay 500 feet away from him. So it sounds like Paul was able to get a restraining order against Karine. Now, as you recall, Karine got this restraining order last week. It was about July 30th or July 31st when she got it. I say this is important is because the way that we are looking at this whole situation, it appears that Karine actually filed the first restraining order against Paul, and Paul, it looks like he is filing a revenge restraining order against Karine, but we are unclear on the timeline. Okay, so this is my issue with Paul's statement. First of all, US Weekly says that they just got this information magically, these court documents, but it's very likely that Paul leaked this information to US Weekly, but not only leaked them, it's possible, I'm not saying he did it, but it's possible that Paul actually approached US Weekly and sold the story or sold the restraining order, because people will do this sometimes when they have a big story. They can approach a company like TMZ, US Weekly, or others and say, "Hey, are you interested in this story? Are you willing to pay any money to have this as an exclusive?" So it's possible, although I don't know for sure if Paul did that. Still, US Weekly obtained those documents, and also they are not posting the actual court documents. We are supposed to take their word that what they are saying is the truth, but they are not posting the actual court documents, which I find interesting. Now, my question with this whole thing is, why did Paul not make any mention of this in his previous tirades on social media? He has been super active on social media over the past week or 2 weeks, and he has not once made mention of the fact that Karine has tried to put glass in his food, has tried to murder him, and has had her friends try to basically kill him and try to extort money out of him. How come Paul has not mentioned that in the past on social media? I am just asking because it seems like Paul is releasing everything else out there, but he did not release this information. This is the first time that we hear about this. So I find that very, very interesting, and I have to question the motivation. Now, also, I want to go back into the past. Now, Paul was arrested in the past in about 2013. We have went over this information in a previous video for violating an emergency protective order. Basically, very, very similar to the situation that we have right now. Now, at that time, both Paul and his ex-girlfriend had protective orders against each other. They had mutual protective orders. However, it was Paul that violated his protective order and ended up getting arrested as a result. Now, here's the thing. Paul says that he actually took out his restraining order first against his ex, and his ex took it afterwards. But still, he got arrested, and he says that it's because of a text that he sent to his ex that got him into muddy waters and consequently arrested. So this is not the first time that Paul is involved in a mutual restraining order situation. I find that very interesting because it's not every day that you have someone that has a restraining order taken out against them or against somebody else. And it's not every day that you see someone involved in a mutual restraining order situation. So I try to do a bit of digging because my gut feeling told me that it's possible to use a restraining order as a revenge tactic. If someone takes a restraining order out against you, you try to take one out against them as a revenge. And this is what I came up with. So in an article that I found on the site called masslegalhelp.org, this is what they say. So sometimes abusive people try to get restraining orders against the people they have abused in order to get back at them. Judges actually know this, and the judge may not give the abusive person a restraining order even if they ask for one. But sometimes abusive people are able to get protective orders against the people they have abused. So basically, sometimes what happens is that the court may write up mutual restraining orders in cases where two people actually want to get restraining orders against each other. So this means that you each have a restraining order against the other. So if this case happens, basically the judge has to put down at some point who the primary aggressor is. So the judge has to decide which person between the two is most likely to abuse the other. Now, he has to write this so the police knows what to do if there is a problem. Now, I believe this is for Massachusetts, so I'm not sure if it's the same thing in Kentucky, but it seems like the tactic of getting a revenge order taken against someone is possible, and it seems like it's something that has happened before. So perhaps that's something that can be taken into consideration. And I'm just saying that I'm giving Paul the benefit of the doubt, but I'm saying this because Paul has now been involved in 2 cases of mutual restraining orders, which is highly, highly unusual. In this article that US Weekly ran about Paul and his restraining order, he concludes this whole thing after, enumerating all these things that Karine has tried to do to him. He concludes it with this: I fear for my wife's safety and mental well-being. I fear for my son's safety. Now, if you recall, in some previous messages on his Instagram, Paul actually said that he has been actively trying to get Karine to get mental help. So he believes that Karine suffers from a mental problem, and he has been trying to get her help. Now, look, guys, all I have to say is this. My opinion on this is that if someone is trying to murder me and trying to do all these things, my opinion is not to really care about that person's feelings, because that person is an imminent threat to my life. So is Paul using this wording as a way to get into the good books of the judge, or in the good books of the people like you and me out there that are watching this whole situation unfold, because he's trying to play it like, oh look, I care so much for Karine, even though she has tried to murder me, and she has had men kind of contact me and tell me if I didn't pay up that they would come kill me and I would never see my son again. Well, I still really care for her. Like, are we really supposed to believe that? Because honestly, I don't believe that. I truly believe that. Let's be honest here. This is the other thing, guys. In some recent Instagram lives, Paul has confirmed that Karine has taken out a 3-year restraining order against him for all the allegations that she's made, rape and all of that stuff, fearing for her life and all of that stuff against him. And also Paul has confirmed that he cannot see his boy Pierre. So it seems like if we are to take everything under consideration right now, it seems like Karine has the upper hand, because she actually has custody right now of their boy Pierre, and it is not Paul who has custody of their boy Pierre. So it seems like perhaps what happened is that, yes, they did both get mutual restraining orders, but perhaps Karine got a more powerful version of a restraining order compared to Paul. What that means, well, perhaps the judge believed more Karine's side of the story, but perhaps he believed that she also can be a little bit unbalanced, unhinged, and she could also be a threat to Paul as well. So perhaps actually the judge agrees with me. These people, they should not be in the same proximity as each other, and perhaps that's what the judge sees in this whole thing, but he is slightly siding with Karine at the moment. Look, I don't know. This is just what this information that is out there is telling me. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you believe that Paul is capable of doing what he did to Karine, or do you believe that Karine is the one that is more likely to have try to kill Paul by trying to put glass in his food, which can kind of like kill him, or if that didn't work, of course, supposedly she tried to get some of her friends to actually try to kill Paul as well. So look, guys, this is really crazy. It's really sad it's come to this. All this information is going to be out there once that boy Pierre is old enough to read the internet, and it's going to be very devastating for him. So it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, guys. Give the video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.